Hello and welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. At the beginning of this week, I published my review of Avalon Hill's sparkly new 5th edition of Talisman the Magical Quest game. In that video, which I have linked to in the description below, I mentioned that there was a new expansion on the way called Talisman Alliance's Fate Beckons. Well, mere moments after my video went live, I realised that Avalon Hill had made pre-orders for Fate Beckons live on the Hasbro Pulse website, so I guess I'm talking about Talisman again today. Fate Beckons is an interesting expansion for 3 reasons. 1, it's the first expansion for the new edition of the game, and it has immediately broken from tradition by doing something completely new. 2, it's the first ever Talisman expansion for any edition to offer cooperative play, if you ignore the spin-off Talisman game Legendary Tales. And 3, it includes legacy-style gameplay elements. Sort of. Here's the official advertising spiel. When the fate of the world is threatened, your enemies become allies. In Talisman Alliance's Fate Beckons, join forces with fellow players and set forth on an epic adventure to complete 5 daunting trials. In each trial, players will need to place 2 talismans on places of power, unseal the portal of power, and defeat that trial's adversary. With a vast world of possible scenarios, this expansion to the Talisman strategy board game for teens and adults offers limitless games. It includes 30 starting game cards, Doom Tracker token, rulebook, 24 double-sided strength and craft tokens, 5 boxes with 5 figures, 4 envelopes with 20 game cards. And that sounds pretty cool. It looks like the 30 starting cards comprise 18 adventure cards, 11 spell cards, and 1 card for the first trial. I'm hoping all those adventure and spell cards will be usable in regular games as well as in the cooperative trials. Back when I had the 2nd edition of Talisman, some of my favourite expansions were the ones that just added a bunch more cards for extra variety. You really can never have too many adventure cards. But we are getting 5 trials to fight through, and after each one we open some surprises, including a new miniature. If we look at the images Avalon Hill have shared, we can see what appears to be artwork for an evil druid, and the druid was one of the original Talisman characters that didn't make it into the 5th edition core set. Furthermore, one of the images shows 5 character cards, although another only shows 4 cards, so there might be some smoke and mirrors going on there. As there are 4 sealed envelopes, each of which appears to be the size of a character card, I would hazard a guess that each trial except for the last is going to involve defeating a villain or rescuing an NPC, who then becomes a playable character to add to your roster before a final showdown with something epic. We do get some tantalising teasers for the new characters though. What are your best guesses for these? It should be noted though, the word legacy has been thrown around regarding this expansion, but I wouldn't use that term here. There are mysteries, little boxes and envelopes to unpack, but it doesn't look like they fundamentally change your game or how it plays. For me, a true legacy experience is a bit more personal. You play through a campaign and you shape your copy of the game based on your experiences with it, so that by the end, it isn't the same game you started with, and it has become something unique to you and your gaming group. I don't think that will happen with Fate Beckons. We aren't getting stickers, we aren't ripping up cards, we aren't playing through a branching campaign where every choice will shape the world of Talisman around our adventure. At the moment we have only seen part of one of the 5 trials, and it's hard to derive much from it. It seems the aim is to find 2 talismans and bury them at specific points. This will open the portal of power, and then you flip the trial card to see what happens in what I presume will be the final showdown. The really interesting thing is the trial event, which advances a doom clock and also activates villain characters. This suggests there will be rival characters on the board, activated by some kind of AI system. So even though the game is co-op, there will still be other enemy NPCs to interact with, and characters that have unique abilities geared towards interacting with other players, like the Thief, will still have the opportunity to use those abilities. One of the things I have always said about Talisman is it has the potential to drag out, but generally what stops that happening is the competition between players. If one person is racing to get the crown of command, every other player at the table is forced to race. This increases the game's tempo and it all becomes so much more breathless and exciting. I was concerned that the switch to a more cooperative format could kill that sense of momentum, but at least we know there will be a doom clock forcing players to keep pushing for the win. And the doom clock looks interesting. It's applying a soft cap on the number of turns the game will last and doesn't instantly end the game, which can sometimes feel anticlimactic. Instead, it appears to be the case that each time the doom counter advances, either the big bad guy or the villain characters will get a bit stronger. And then once the doom counter reaches the end of the tracker, heroes will start to lose 1 life point each turn, which they cannot heal, meaning they have just a few more turns to scrabble for victory. That could lead to some really exciting finales. I'm not sure I have a lot more to add at this point, other than to highlight that even though the focus here is cooperative play, it doesn't look like the expansion has been designed for solo play. The box art still shows the player count as being 2 to 6, and the advertising fluff seems to suggest teamwork is important. Of course, that won't stop people playing solo, probably using multiple characters, but I thought it was worth noting. The Hasbro Pulse website has Fate Beckons up for pre-order at $33.99 with a release date of October 1st, 2024. And I am cautiously optimistic. For me, Talisman has always been about competition, about screwing over your friends and then laughing about it. But it will be interesting to see how a co-op version plays. At the very least, it looks like we are going to get some new adventure cards, spells and characters to play with, and that, honestly, is good enough for me. Oh, and all the art looks phenomenal once again. Always a good bonus. And I think I will leave it there for now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, if you liked the video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really like the video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so, and hopefully, I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone, bye bye.